Hi there, my name is Brad Ackman. I am the Director of Training at Front Sight Firearms Training Institute just outside of Las Vegas, Nevada. At Front Sight, we train upwards of 50,000 students every year in the safe and efficient use of firearms. To each and every one of those students, we impart lots and lots of different techniques. However, firearms safety really boils down to just 4 simple items. If you look on the back of a box of ammunition, there may be 15 items listed. You buy a new gun, open up the manual, there may be 20 items. But really, in the end, firearms safety boils down to just 4 critical issues. These are known as the 4 Universal Firearms Safety Rules. So let's go through each one of these in just a little bit of detail to make certain that you fully understand them and, more importantly, can actually apply them. Rule number 1. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded, even when it's unloaded and you know that it's unloaded because you just unloaded it. In fact, you just checked it. Even then, treat it with the same respect or the same mindset that you would a loaded weapon. And just that respect generally takes care of any negligent discharge that you might otherwise have. And by negligent discharge, we're talking about banging off a round that you didn't mean to. Rule number 2. Never let the muzzle, that is the front of the gun, cover or point at anything that you're not willing to destroy. Well, the fact that that muzzle exists means that it's pointing at something. When you have your handgun in the holster, the muzzle is pointing at the floor. You set it on the nightstand, you're covering the wall. You open up the safe, set it on the shelf, you're covering the back panel of the safe. Are you willing to destroy all of those? Yeah, you better be, because that's what you're covering. But how about your arm, or your leg, or your loved ones? Obviously not. You need to be what we call muzzle conscious. Know where that muzzle's pointing all the time. Don't let it cover anything you're not willing to destroy. Rule number 3, keep your finger off the trigger, and in fact outside of the trigger guard until you're ready to shoot. Now, the corollary to that is when you are ready to shoot and you're pointed in at the target, your finger is on the trigger, because that's the way the gun goes bang. Any other time, the trigger finger is straight. And rule number 4, be sure of your target and what's in line with your target, both foreground and background. At Front Sight, we've set it up that way. All of our students will be on the same firing line. There'll be a long row of identical targets. Just behind the targets is a big dirt berm. It's all very artificial and orchestrated. On the street, however, where it matters, it is far more complex. For example, you'll probably have a low-light environment. It'll be dynamic, chaotic, scary. Under those circumstances, you've got a few questions you need to answer. First, is this the right guy? Are you about to shoot the correct individual? If that answer is yes, then you need to know if there's somebody standing right next to you who's about to step in front of your sights. And finally, if you do shoot the adversary and the round pokes a hole and continues downrange, which it probably will, what's it going to hit downrange? It goes without saying that once you've fired the shot, you cannot alter its course, and you certainly cannot get it back. All right, those are the 4 Universal Firearms Safety Rules. So let's just briefly review those 4 safety rules. Number 1, treat every weapon as if it were loaded. Number 2, never let the muzzle cover anything you're not willing to destroy. Number 3, keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. And number 4, be sure of your target and what's in line with your target. 95% of the gun-owning population do not know what they do not know. And it's part of our mission at Front Sight to bring those people here where they can safely and immediately get the training that they lack. Now, we are also realists. We know that we're not going to get 95% of the gun-owning population here to Front Sight for whatever reason, and that's okay. But if that applies to you and you cannot get formal firearms training for some reason, at least make it your goal to master those 4 Universal Firearms Safety Rules. That way you and your entire family can safely, confidently handle firearms for the rest of your life.